Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian Diaz, and thank you very much for joining us today and sharing this space to learn together. The economic history of this country has a record of GDP and its economic activity 100 years. But how has this historical record and all of this activity been? First, we must understand how the economy works in the countries. The economy itself is an area of reproduction, distribution, and trade, as well as the consumption of goods and services. And these properties of the economy work with the economic sectors. An example of the sector would be agriculture, service, or mining. Currently, there are many types of categories in economic sectors, and each country is stronger in specific sectors. This would be the starting point of this presentation and open the first question. What are the strongest economic sectors of our economy? As you can see in this graphic, Colombia is a very little diverse economy, and as we can see, it relies heavily on the exploitation of this natural wealth. Now, to explain this complex issue, I want to introduce you to Harold Correa and his history of petroleum in Colombia.
The history of oil in Colombia began like this. It began with the arrival of the Spaniards, mainly with Gonzalo Jiménez de Quesada, in the hamlet of Yaguaríes, what is now Barranca Bermeja. In 1536, together with the companions, they discovered the existence of oil. In 1903, the first oil regulations were made under government of President Rafael Núñez. In 1905, the first oil concession was granted to Roberto de Maris. In 1919, in August 25, the concession of seas was transferred to the Tropical Oil Company directed by Mr. Rockefeller. In 1924, the first strike of workers of the Tropical Oil Company took place in Barranca Bermeja. In 1931, the oil law was passed under the government of Enrique Olaya Herrera. In 1951, the concession of seas was handed over to the Colombian state company Ecopetrol. In 1983, the largest deposit on record was discovered and it was named Caño Limón Coveñas in Santander. In 2003, the State Hydrocarbon Agency was created. In 2012, the record 1 million average barrels per day was broken.
Thank you, Harold, for explaining the history of petroleum in Colombia and its effect on the economy. The next topic is about one of the best known products in Colombia, the coffee. Yeah. Alejandra Jimenez is not going to tell a little about coffee and the economy in our country.
Hi! Coffee is part of agriculture, one of the main subsectors within the country's economy. From the harvesting, fermentation, washing, and drying process, a high level of agricultural production is carried out. All of this thanks to our coffee growers. The main coffee that are cultivated in Colombia are Arabica coffees. Arabica coffees produce a small variety of greater acceptance in the world market and of better price. The Arabica coffees that are cultivated in the country are Typica, Bourbon, Tabi, Caturra, and Colombia variety. the growth of this subsector compared to the cultivation of coffee for the year 2021 is 21.4% for the first quarter of the year. The agricultural yield grew 6.5 times the GDP, generate 3.3% of this sector in general. This subsector competes with imported products. During 2020, the largest volume imported were from Peru with 27.79%, Honduras with 5.87%, and Brazil with 61.80%. And what has happened to coffee consumption? Faced with this use, it is important for highlight the figures from DIG Insights, which show that in the United States, our main export market, the demand for coffee for home preparation has increased, which has partly replaced the lower consumption in stores, restaurants, and offices. Allowed, this has helped to balance supply and demand to the extent that unemployment grows in developed markets. Consumption will migrate to lower price and lower value add coffees. This is evidenced by a greater robust international trade and a lower volume of Arabica coffees, which poses a challenge for especially coffee producers.
Thanks, Alejandra, for showing something as delicious as coffee and growing in our country. The next topic is about flowers in Colombia and the economic impact it has had on our country.
Hi everyone, I'm gonna talk to you about the most beautiful thing in the world. Yes, the flowers. But why is Colombia the answer on Valentine's Day? Well, on February 14, Colombia provides the world with 500 million flowers for the celebration of St. Valentine's Day. And Colombia is the second country with the most flowering plants in the world, after Brazil, with over 26,000 species. And the national flower, Colombia has the most orchid species in the world with more 2,000 species. Orchid has been the national flower since 1936 because of its beauty and grandness. And we have diversity to export. Colombia provides 89 countries, 1,600 cans of flowers, which makes it the world's second largest exporter. In addition, the country is the world's first carnation exporter with sales over $600 million. And 33% of Colombia's exported flowers are roses. Can you believe it? The United States is Colombia's flower main exporting market with 76% of export. Colombia also exports to Russia, the United Kingdom, Japan, the Netherlands, and Spain. And according to DANA, Colombia exported $1,239 million in flowers in 2011. Why do you believe in 2021? The floriculture industry accounts for 8% of the country's agriculture GDP, and it generates some 172,000 jobs. It's a lot. And what do you mean? All of them becomes from Colombia? Yes, it's amazing.
Thank you, Tim, for this excellent presentation. The problem for a country like Colombia, which has such little diverse economy, is to compete with countries like the United States, It requires a very large investment in your infrastructure and, most importantly, a change in culture and knowledge. Indeed, the countries with the best talent will always be a better economy, and that their economy depends on their ideas, but not on their natural wealth. Well, this way a very interesting space of discovery for all of us. Thank you very much for participating in the space, and we will see you another time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.